Hello, how is everybody doing tonight? Um, Tonight I will be talking about my new book. It's called The Body Book, and basically I'm gonna go through like some of the content that's in the book and kind of get you familiar with what you can expect when you read through this book. I have to plug in because I'm on conference call as well. So basically, I kind of just want to go over what you're going to find in this book. So here it is. It's called The Body Book, Respect the Brand Behavior, and it's a lesson about inappropriate touch. I know that's like the conversation that a lot of us don't want to have. I bring it in closer so you can kind of see it. Sorry about the lighting, but the space, the room is not available. And I like the title of it, The Body Book, because basically this book has exercises in it that will allow you to teach your children more about their bodies and what appropriate touch is versus inappropriate touch. But I kind of don't want to get ahead of myself, so I will start off by kind of giving you a little bit of my background and then kind of moving into where we are today. And then moving into my book, because as you know, will be in the future. And so this is the body book. Respect is around behavior, the lesson in appropriate touch. And right on the front, I put a quote from President Obama, which says that we have in our power the ability to do something. And so basically, I want to push you into a mode of action where you begin to do something. And doing something is going to start hopefully writing your home, writing your community. And so basically, I wrote this book based on my life experience and also what I've learned over the years about sexual abuse and sexual assault. And so basically, um, my story is it happened to me. Right? 1 in 3 women are molested or sexually, and 1 in 5 men. So basically, it happened to me. Sorry, I'm in an open space because they weren't done with the room, and um, anyway, so I kind of had to do what I had to do because they weren't finished cleaning the room up on the person that was before me because they overran their time. So I'm kind of here stuck in this corner. Okay, so anyway, back to the book. So basically, what happens is I was young. It happened to me through family members, and it was very traumatic. It was the worst experience of my life. I kind of go into detail about it more in the book, but also the main focus of the book is me knowing my story and how devastating the traumatic it was in my life and my experience, and then listening to the stories of others. What I wanted to do is give the next generation or this current generation a tool to help them. So I was one of those people who was blessed to have a voice. I told all my predators when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I know a lot of the stories we heard today, people are not coming forward and telling their stories or on their predators until they are 29 to 42 years old. Well, that's a lot of time lapse. And don't get me wrong, I think whenever you come out, whenever you tell your story, I think that's great. I think everybody needs to take that step. I think it's super important. I definitely think that is something that you should do. If you're a victim of sexual abuse or any type of abuse, you really need to speak out. You need to let people know. And I'll tell you why. It's really in this book, but I'll tell you why. I'll get into that a little later. But it's just so important that we do have a voice and that we speak out. And so, like I said, I was only 10 years old, and I came forward, and so it stopped it from happening to me. But what it didn't stop was a lot of the psychological, emotional, mental, spiritual physical damage that had already taken place. So it didn't stop all of that, but it stopped the actual act of happening. So as I hear stories continue to come out, like the Sandusky trials, where he had access to the young boys, and I hear about Bishop Eddie Long, who had access to the young boys through the church. When I hear about and see Jamie, who made the YouTube video when she called her teacher from middle school. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. It was like in a public place. When I hear those stories, it makes me think about what can I do? What needs to be done to stop this from happening? And so, like I said, I was fortunate. I told when I was with your mom, I'm fortunate in the fact that it did happen to me and it did happen for a long period of time over years. But I feel blessed because one thing I learned from that is that that was never God's intentional plan for my life. I think a lot of people, um, they say, why did God let this happen to me? And things of that nature. And I want you to know that God did not let it happen to you. People make choices, and unfortunately, people make choices to harm others. And so, if you are a victim of sexual abuse or sexual molestation or sexual assault, I mean, you know that that was never in God's plan for you. He never intends for us to be harmed. I want you to know that you still have value. You have worth. And I want you to know that you have to find a way to compartmentalize the experience and find a way to not let it take away from all that you deserve in life right now. I'm going to speak farther about that in my next book, but right now I want to focus on what can we do if you're a person who has been victimized, and now you have children or you have nephews and nieces, maybe by now, like me, you have grandchildren. The biggest question is, what can we do about it? What can we do to stop the predators? And I think a lot of times we don't have an answer to that. What I've tried to do in this book is provide us with an answer. We know that one of the things that doesn't happen is that children do not tell. They simply do not communicate with their parents or whoever's taking care of them. If it happens at school, for some reason, children do not tell. And one of the things that I've tried to do was make it easier for people to come forward. And sorry if that's the nerves, but children are not the only ones. Adults, uh, young people as young as 18 years old, college students, they don't report either. They don't tell anybody. And so one of the things that I wanted to do in my book with my book is give us the information, give us the data, give us the statistics, make it real to us as a society to know that we do have a serious issue and we do have a serious problem. And I wanted to give victims an opportunity to have a voice. Because a lot of times, like I say, their voice has been silenced by the traumatic event. And so I wanted to give them a way to have a voice. And in giving them a way to have a voice, I have came up with a system of reporting that I believe is going to be very, very effective. In this book, I outline specifically what you need to do. I give you specific guidelines of things that you can be aware of as a parent. I know I had a discussion with some other ladies, and one of the things we talked about was in everything that we were going through at the time. It seems as though our parents were very out of touch, and not only our parents, I would say that all parents are very out of touch with how to communicate with their children about their bodies, inappropriate touch. And like I said, I'm not going to say my parents or other victims' parents. I'm going to say all parents because sexual abuse happens 80% of the time. a person who is a family member or a close family friend. 80% up to 93%. That's the range. So it happens in our homes, it happens in our schools, it happens in our churches, it happens anywhere, at any place, at any time. And how long does it take for a child to be sexually abused or assaulted, or anyone, any person? How long does it take? It only takes seconds, and within seconds, their entire life is changed. So just because I'm a victim and then I know somebody else who's a victim, we all stand a chance of being a victim. So this book talks about how to perhaps prevent that from happening. And one of the things we talk about is um, giving our children this exercises in this book. In fact, let me turn to some of them. Very good illustrations, very good charts, and which talk about and discuss what. First of all, it contains. Let me go back. First of all, it contains a few stories. I want you to read each story. Each story at the end has questions, things to kind of make you critically think about how you would handle a situation, what was the right thing to do, what are some of the things you should not do, what are some of the things you should be prepared for, what are some of the things that you should know. For instance, if something takes place at school, say with the school teacher, would you know who to go to if something were to happen? Do you just go to the principal if you find out something happened to your child, or do you go to the police? These are the things that you need to know. And these are the things that I outline in my book. Okay? And then also, like I said, there are exercises in here where you will actually engage with your children, show them, demonstrate to them what appropriate touch is. When and so that's one of the great things about this book. The exercises in this book have been reviewed by educators, parents, and those who provide preschool and daycare, who work in preschool and daycare settings. So this book has been reviewed by educators and people who work with children, even by everyday moms. And this material is appropriate for children as young as 3 years old. What I would say to a parent is read through the entire book because you don't want to share all of this information with a 3-year-old. But literally a 13-year-old could, probably a 12-year-old, but I'm just going to say a 13-year-old could pick up this book and read it and fully understand everything that's in it. This book will help your children understand what appropriate touch is versus inappropriate touch. It also contains what I call CLA cards, children location selectivity cards, and body cards, which I talk with you further with in the book. So basically, by the end of this book, children will have an idea of what appropriate inappropriate touch is. They will feel safer because they now have a system of reporting, and they will be more confident in their ability to protect themselves, even if they are approached by a predator. Okay, so this book is very, very important. This book will aid parents and others by educating participants about respecting the body, setting boundaries, appropriate and inappropriate touch, the warning signs of a potential predator or pedophile. Okay, and so this is a very good book. I want you to go on Amazon.com, get your copy of this book, get a copy for your children, your daughter, whoever has children, every school, every church needs to have copies of the body book, and they need to have the CLA cards and the body cards available. Okay. And so basically the exercises are there to educate, inform, and report. Okay? Facts, or evidence associated with sexual violence and misconduct. And there are resources in here to improve our system by increasing opportunities to inform. You really, I can't even say how instrumental this book can be in a child's life. And by the way, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of the body cards. I want you to see a couple of things that's on here. You get two packages of these when you get your book. Actually, you get three sets of these. And they're very instrumental in sharing with your children. And you want to get these because the, the cards are actually the tool that you're going to use that's going to assist your child the most. So make sure you go online, go to Amazon.com, get a copy of the, order your copy of the body book. My name's Kathleen Harrod. Just giving you some information about this book, letting you know that sexual assault does happen. It is something that we can do about it. We have the power to do something about it in our homes, in our churches, in our city, in our community. Everywhere we have the opportunity, we can do something about it. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Sorry about the lighting. Please go out and purchase you a copy of this book. Amazon.com. The audiobook from Kathleen L. If you have any questions, you can follow me at K Harrod on Twitter, on Instagram, and K Harrod Instagram on Twitter. Kathleen Harrod on Facebook. So, look me up, K Harrod on Instagram, K Harrod STL on Twitter. Look me up and follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. The Body Book will actually have its own Facebook page that I'm developing, and I can't wait to tell you what else is coming with the Body Book. It's going to be incredible. So stay safe, let's save our babies, and let's do something about it. The Body Book. Respect is a learned behavior, a lesson about inappropriate touch. Thanks for joining me.